Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's happening with y'all, man? Hope y'all doing well this fine morning. Sorry for running so late, man. My mother and my mother moved in with us, so I have some things I got to do for my mother in the morning that sometimes makes me, get pushed off a little bit. So forgive me for showing up late, but I think you'll enjoy the live stream today. Should be good, bro, because there was some really big news that came out about the sport of boxing yesterday. Like, really big. I said Contoll. I got to correct the spelling. Give me 1 second. Control. Let me get that. And then let me edit it here too. Hold on. Appreciate people that forgive me for making spelling errors. What's going on, Ray Patterson? How you feeling this morning, man? Did you have a good evening? I hope you did. Jose Lopez, good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Kentrell LeGrew, what's going on? Yeah, Slander's out of control, bro. I heard something they said, bro, was crazy. Look, man, I'm going to tell you right now, bro. The slander that I heard was that Gervonta can't pay for his attorney and that he's on the run. You ever thought maybe he's in a hospital? You think maybe he's in like a, somewhere where they make sure that he's, emotionally together? You know what I mean? Do you ever think that maybe? Maybe he's not running anywhere. And then you can start thinking, if he's not running anywhere, where could he be? And if you say, okay, he hasn't responded to his attorney, to the attorney for the accuser, they haven't been able to serve him because they can't find him, where can he be? Is it reasonable to assume that Gervonta Davis is running and is a fugitive, like running around? No. He's somewhere. He's somewhere where police officers can't get to him, nor can the people that you're trying to get served get to you. And there's a finite amount of places that people would be in that situation, especially seeing as their mother just died, their grandmother just died. A woman who he loved like a mother died. I know where people are a lot of times when police are looking for them, but police can't get them. It's called a hospital. He's not a drug addict, so he's probably not in rehab. But, if people are worried about him, enough people are worried about his mental health, they can make sure that he takes care of his mental health before he turns himself into the police to go on trial. That's not an abnormal thing to take place. And that's not saying he's getting slick or anything like that. But I mean, really, that's where people go in situations like that. And it makes sense that if he ruffled up a girl and he was agitated and he was sober and up at 4:15 in the morning and agitated somebody and said, dog, that man very well could be going through an episode. And they say, look, we got to sit this guy down for a little while until he gets his head together. You never know. I'm not saying that that's the case with him. I'm not saying that I know that that's the case. I'm just putting forth a very viable option where it could be the case, where it doesn't have to be everything that you say it is. You know what I mean? You guys are just filling in the blanks with as bad a situation as you possibly can do. You're trying to make the situation look as bad as you can make it look. Like there's nothing that Gervonta Davis, no situation involving Gervonta, are you giving Gervonta Davis any grace whatsoever? You think he's guilty of what the woman accused him of. If you can't find him, it's because he's running. If the police can't find him, it's because he's running. If his lawyer hasn't made a statement, it's because he can't pay his lawyer. You know what I mean? If his church burns down, it's because Gervonta set the fire. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, bro, is everything got to be bad for Gervonta? Everything? Every step of the way, bro? You can't find anything? Like, you can't even think, like, when you concocted that story that you concocted, you couldn't have concocted a story that worked for Gervonta? Because I don't know where Gervonta is, but I can tell you right now, if I'm Gervonta, I'm in a psych ward, bro. That's where the fuck I am. I'm sitting my happy black ass right down in the psych ward. Why? Because it explains everything. Because I was acting crazy as shit. So shit, oops, I was crazy. I was going through mental health issues. And I'm talking about the judge. Like the judge. Yes. Oh, where was Gervonta when we were trying to serve him? Oh, he was in a psychiatric ward. We put him on a 72. We put him on an involuntary 72-hour hold. Everybody, his parole officer was informed that he's on a 72-hour involuntary hold. Oops, we don't think he's ready to be released. Let's hold him for another 3 weeks. Let's move him from one place to another place to make sure that his mind is together. Bro, get the fuck out of here with everything got to be so bad. And I'm not even saying that that's the case. I'm just saying, shit. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. You can't think of any, you can't get inventive at all and find a reason where something can happen to Gervonta Davis that's not bad. I don't know about that, man. I don't like that, man. I don't believe that's fair to him. I don't think you're being fair, bro. And I think you're adding on to a bunch of shit and you're a liar on top of that, man. Wow. So that's one thing I'm going to talk about today. And I want to debate. He said, Egomaniac said, that's what Ryan did. I'm telling you, that's what normal people do. People go like, bro, if you're crazy, if you're flipping out and you're upset, dog, you'll grab a cop. You'll grab a girl. You'll do, man, if you're not well, you'll do all kind of shit. And then what happens? The woman can fucking go in and complain about what you did. But bro, if you go to a psych ward, you'll be like, bro, I wasn't even in my right mind. It's not like you killed somebody or anything. And guess what? People get criminal records because of that. However, they also get consideration because of that, bro. He may have just ruffled her up because he was going through something. Why don't you guys ever think about something in a way that doesn't make somebody look like they're a terrible person? Gervonta Davis doesn't get to have mental health issues. But Jermell Charlo has mental health issues. Jamal Charlo has mental health issues. Boxers get punched in the head all the damn time. But he can't have a mental health issue, and that be why you can't find him for a little while? Come on, Brody. Y'all did that shit to me. Y'all didn't see me for a little bit of time. Oh, we don't know what happened to Martin. Oh, man, we ain't never going to see him again. Y'all did all kind of videos on me because I got stressed out and snapped on y'all hoe ass niggas. And then people around me were like, hold on, you got to sit down. You're getting too amped up. So they put me on a 72-hour hold. I sat there. Man, I might be there 2 weeks. You might be there 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Why they do that? You know what I mean? Especially, and I wasn't on drugs. If somebody's on drugs, they're definitely going to do that shit. I mean, you can laugh if you want, bro. All you're going to do is get put out of here, bro. I'm telling you right now, bro. Dog, I'm not, look, bro, Chris, give me something right here, bro. I did not say he had mental health issues. You're not agreeing with me. Coach Chris, understand this. You're not agreeing with me because I didn't say he had mental health issues. What I said was there's plenty of places and reasons why somebody could be unavailable to get arrested. That's what I'm saying. Coach Chris, don't say that I didn't say he has mental health issues. See, that's probably why nobody wants to share it. Because people, oh, you got mental health issues. I'm not saying he has it. I don't know what he has. All I'm saying is I'm looking at the scenario, bro. What's up, Don Ballin? Thank you very much. So you're right. Yeah, I did not say that. I'm not saying that Terrence that Gervonta Davis has mental health issues. All I'm saying is that if you're going to look for a reason to say why hasn't he been arrested, dog, there's reasons why he may not be available to turn himself in. Like, bro, seriously, man. I heard that he was really stressed out and he wasn't dealing well with the death of his grandmother. So, bro, it's like, come on, bro. Like, you can't think maybe he went somewhere before they issued the warrant for him. You ever think that? Maybe, you know what I mean? But maybe people saying that they see him out posting pictures. Dog, you don't know if those pictures are old. Who knows, bro? All I'm saying is I don't know, bro. And that's not a fair thing to do, is to say shit like he can't pay his lawyer fees. What kind of petty shit is that, bro? That is some monstrously petty shit, bro. We do have a lot of stuff going on in boxing, bro. Yeah, it's a reason for everything, bro. It's like, damn, what do you think he's doing? Sitting in like these niggas want to act like he's hiding it, like he's sneaking into broken down Blockbusters and hiding in the bathrooms of shut down Blockbusters or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, look at the picture that they're trying to drape. Look at the I don't know why they didn't get you. Look at the picture they're trying to draw. This guy is worth $20 million, $30 million, and they're trying to act like he's running around hiding in the bathrooms of broken down Blockbusters. You know what I mean? Like his ass is somewhere hiding in a garbage can behind the 7-Eleven. Bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like, where do you think he is? Nigga, use your imagination in a way that doesn't make Gervonta Davis look bad. One thing I can say about your hoe ass is that you got a great imagination. I mean, that's one thing that you definitely have, bro. You niggas that make up these lies got a great imagination. Like, it's hard to even stay up. Exactly. And like, he can't pay a lawyer. Like, come on, man. Yes, his grandmother. Yes, it was his grandmother on his mother's side. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Y'all got to be able to find. But look, this is something I want to talk about, bro. Hunter Young said Tank's lawyers know exactly where he is, and they are probably have a communication with the DA or whomever. Probably, bro. Probably. Look, man, these are the things we're going to talk about today, because I have an hour and a half to talk to you, and I already got 15 minutes through. Ali Act News. Big changes, bro. Y'all ass is toast, bro. You guys are toast. Did I put this on Twitter? Yes, I did. I got 16 on Twitter. This video I did on Twitter. You guys are fucking toast. I told you all that money you stealing and games you were playing with these people's money was going to come back and bite you guys exceptionally hard. I told you that you guys were going overboard. You're doing too much. You guys sending a bunch of foreigners over to the United States with a bunch of money that was not, with ill-gotten money, spreading it all over the place to dominate the U.S. market, has now backfired y'all in a way, bro. Do you know if Super Chat is working? It should. I'm monetized. Let me see. Do I know if the Super Chat is working? Yes, it looks like it's working. It's a button. There's a button that says Super Chat. You scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry you didn't get a notification, man. Hey, dog, seriously, bro. Real shit's going down, bro. Do you know if the Super Chat is working? The Super Chat should be working, but I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't know what's going on. I think that there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think that there's plays afoot. First of all, before I get into the details, let me tell you this, and I mean it to the bottom of my heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republic. The press conference yesterday was realized Zufta is targeted, is geared towards the MAGA crowd. Look, man, let me tell you what they finna do, bro. They're about to get rid of all you promoters, bro. Dog, they about to get rid of all y'all promoters. They getting rid of all y'all. Hey, man, please make sure it works. Thank you, bro. Zachariah said, yeah, it's working. Thank you, bro. I'm like, shit. I couldn't tell you for looking before you donated. Oh, all the middlemen, y'all are in a lot of trouble. Y'all gonna lose all that money. Hey, with Zufta Boxing, how in the world? Oh, dog, please, can we get? Hey, dog, seriously, dog, man, bro, they are draining boxing dry. Let's get real. There is no TV contracts, dog. Can I put a puzzle together for y'all today? Jeep Red Boy in the building said it's working. Thank you, bro. We got the supporters coming in there. E Fern, thank you, bro. Much love. Oh, no, look, turkey done, dog. Turkey. Look, bro, I ain't worried about turkey. Hey, Wally Jamal Bay said, Wally Bay, what up, man? Said, hey, refresh the super chat, dog. Dog, them motherfucker thought you stupid as hell, bro. I'm like, does this nigga think everybody is stupid? Yeah, he works from the premise that everybody is stupid. Hey, man, I think the super chat stuck. Man, damn it, put some money in that damn super chat because the super chat stuck. Bro, who the fuck believed you? Like, I don't even get that. But people would give him the money. I'm like, man, goddamn, what is this? God dang, what is this? Man, anyway, so let me tell you what I think is what's happening here, bro. You guys been stealing all this damn money. And y'all been fucking around, gambling and conning people into gambling. Let me tell you the only fucking reason. Hey, Jeep Red Boy say double checking. Thank you, brother. Thank you for double checking today, dog. I need a day off, dog. Thank you, bro. I need some super chats because I gotta work like a Hebrew slave out here. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Get rid of the promoters. No, the fighters are not getting the money. Nope. No fighters are getting money. No fighters are going to get money. Only a few fighters are going to get big. No, they're cleaning up the sport, bro. You got to understand. Let me tell you, Coach Chris, when they get rid of the waste, they're going to find all the waste. A lot of the waste comes from the money that the fighter makes. And why is that? Because the fighter has a manager, the fighter has a promoter, and the fighter has a trainer. All three of those, the fighter has to pay. So those are three people whose interest it is to exaggerate and blow up how much money that fighter makes. So they're not just good, they're going to get rid of the managers. They're going to get rid of the promoters. And when you get rid of the managers and the promoters, No. Now I'm just saying, look, they're going to get rid of waste. Because wherever you have waste, you have corruption. Let me repeat this. Wherever you have waste, you have corruption. Wherever there's a bunch of money flying around, you got a bunch of vultures flying around. So since there's a lot of criminality in boxing, they're going to get rid of the money in boxing. It's that simple. Let me use an example. Zulu Lion said, follow that cab. I left my joint in it. Yeah. Like seriously, listen, think about this. Look at prohibition. When during the time where there was prohibition in the United States, or better yet, let's not do prohibition. Let's talk about cannabis. You know, in the 1980s and the 1990s, there's a lot of money in cannabis, right? Why? Because it was illegal. So people in the street could grow their own cannabis. They could get their own cannabis and they would sell it to you because it was prohibited. But who's the ones that get the money? The drug cartels. Because that's organized crime will organize how to get you those illegal products, right? So if you want to get rid of the organized crime, you've got to get rid of the money. You got to get rid of the money incentive. So if once you made it legal for the big companies to take over alcohol, all of the crime associated with the mafia around that disappeared, right? So in the boxing world, there's a lot of criminality, and the criminality is massive, and I've been talking to you about it. So what are they going to do? They want to get rid of the criminality. What do? You get rid of the money. So they're not going to pay the fighters a lot of money, and they're going to not give the other promoters television deals. It is not a coincidence, and I want you to understand that not two things happen at the same time. They're getting legislative backup, and there's got to be let me tell you, in order for the legislature to get involved, they have to believe that there's a public policy interest involved. So you have the legislation, which is a public policy, right? Public policy. And then on the other hand, you have the financial interests. Okay? So you have Zufta coming in with really Ari Emanuel in Endeavor that have a financial interest in monopolizing a sport, which, by the way, is better than the UFC. It's better than the UFC. They get a financial incentive of what? Keeping all the money with themselves. Because you can't corrupt Ari Emanuel. You ain't got enough money to corrupt Ari Emanuel. You ain't got enough money to corrupt Dana White, because Dana White doesn't own the company. Endeavor does. They don't need the money. So the corruption is going to go away on the ground level. See, and guess what the UFC just did? The UFC said for their first card for Zufta, what they're going to do is that they are going to have a private gambling security firm monitor all of the gambling trends on Zufta Boxing. So that speaks to what their interest is. The first thing that they said they're going to do is make sure that, or do their best to make sure that there's no irregular gambling going on. Now, that is obviously related to the fact that the UFC was being investigated by the FBI for over 100 fixed fights. But still, that tells you that they have their eye on the gambling problem. What gambling problem? The gambling problem that I've been talking to you about has been taking place in boxing. The reason that they're dumping all this money in boxing is because they are basically stealing money out of trust funds. That's my opinion, and that's what I've been telling you. And the RICOs are just related to the gambling because they have to explain how they get all this money, right? So they invest a little money, investing the fights, investing in making the fight, and then they gamble huge amounts of money and justify where they're getting the money from. So guess what? They're going to get rid of all of you guys doing that shit by taking all the money out of it. And now watch this. You can say, but the fighters aren't going to get their money. You can say, but the fighters aren't going to get their money. The fighters aren't going to get their money. Hold on 1 second. Hello?
Hey, sir, good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, that's fine. I just got to tell my mother real quick. She's downstairs. That you're coming. But yeah, and then put the dog up. Yeah, thank you. All right. Hey, give me 1 second, man. Give me 1 second. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. So look, bro, you got to understand, this is the feds are doing this shit. The reason I'm telling you it's over is because the feds are doing this shit. The feds are going to get this shit passed. The feds are going to get this shit passed. I'm telling you right now, the feds are going to get this shit passed. The feds, because you niggas are getting, look what Aiden Ross and Dana, look what Aiden Ross is doing on stake, passing all that money through, at least what he's accused of doing. Look at all the RICOs related to the gambling money. Look at all the unreal, stupid amount of payments being made to fighters on fighters that lose money. Come on, man. That's the feds that are going to do it to y'all. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Slight break. Enjoy this video file while I be right back. Enjoy. I'll be right back.
Dude, like my heart, bro. Like Tank. Like I had that little nigga with me at 14, 13, bro. His mama and them had to drive to Cincinnati to come get that nigga away from me, bro. Like this is my real little brother.
Yeah.
Like for real, bro.
Did you ever see him spar any of them?
Yeah.
What happened? Who he sparred?
Y'all know what happened, man.
I don't know.
He sparred Devin, right? And
You was there?
hell yeah, I was there. And he sparred in About Billion shirt.
Gervonta?
Yeah. He got right off the plane, was fucking around, and went to the gym and sparred Devin. And I was about to fight Sean Porter. We was at Floyd gym, packed. I just had weighed in, right? And we went to the gym. It's packed, it's hot. They get in there. Tank hit that nigga. He hit him, boom. Then he hit him again, and he went out. I jumped in the ring. Because at the time, Devin is 17. I'm like, hell no, this is a kid. Hell no, it's gonna fall on us. If you know what I mean? If he really get fucked up like that. So what happened was Bill jumped in the ring, his dad.
All right, sorry about that. I thought y'all enjoyed entertainment. However, look, man. However, it is a very befitting that I played that for you because you know what that is? This is illegal gambling.
Jump in the ring.
This right here, that's illegal gambling. Right there. See, when I talked to you about the crime in boxing, you all don't think that this is, you think this is just some normal shit. No, this is criminal activity right here. It's criminal activity. Yes, it is. Criminal activity in the boxing world. This right here is a young amateur getting put in a ring against a young professional for money. For money. You know what I mean? For money. There's Devin Haney. There's Floyd Mayweather involved in the illegality. Right there. That's not legal. That is not illegal. You're having a boxing match with a pro under the influence of alcohol because he said he had a couple shots. Right? This is why the feds are on your ass. And you idiots are running around on camera talking about it. And you got a bunch of fucking passing a bunch of money around for all kind of reasons. Internationally. Bringing in your little thugs, bringing in your little criminals, you know, trying to laundering your money along with the large amounts of money you're snatching out of these people's hedge funds. Yeah, man, you thought I told you it was coming, you suckers. I told you. Look, I told you. Let me stand on my square for a second, bro. Put some money in the super chat for this. Let me, hey, when they hate, donate, bro. No joke. I'm going to use boxing ego shit. Anyway, I told you. And when I see Ilhan Omar basically said this shit is going through. They said it's not perfect, but it's bipartisan. This shit is Democrats and Republicans. This is a bipartisan bill. I told you he was coming to get you, bitches. I told you. All I had to see is this Ilhan Omar, and all I had to hear is that they said that the sanctioning bodies, if they didn't just pass it, they also put a stipulation in there to hit the sanctioning bodies and to make sure the sanctioning bodies only have one champion per weight class, which means what? If you play around, we're going to revoke your commission. Man, it's wild, bro. Because guess what? They're gonna burn the forest down, bro. Zufta is gonna get a stable of fighters. They're gonna get one. And I'm gonna tell you where they're gonna start getting fighters from. Because the Zufta guys ain't on a bad pay scale yet. They're gonna fuck around and start getting partner with the PBC. I'm telling you. Dog, the PBC ain't even really signing fighters. Look, I'm telling you, bro, this is what Al Heyman wanted to do to begin with. And Tom Brown is one of the people that are backing all of this shit with the Muhammad Ali Act and the unified boxing organizations. It's backed by Tom Brown. There is no network deal for any American promoter. I mean, some of the things that these shit talkers say is true. There's not, but why isn't there? Why is no major organization in the United States backing boxing? Because you guys are a bunch of thieves. They got out of it because you guys are a bunch of fucking thieves. They got into sports with less nonsense around them. And that's what Al Heyman had always said. So I'm not going to cry for any type of correction that gets rid of Rick Glazier. Because I don't think Rick Glazier can survive in an environment like the one that the Muhammad Ali Revival Act brings around. I don't think they can survive. I'm telling you, I'm like somebody says, I'm glad Dana is taking over boxing. I'm not glad about anything. I am, on the other hand, looking at how it's going to affect people. And I'm going to tell you right now, you little thieving niggas is in a lot of trouble. Yeah, you are. They don't need you to find fighters. What's going on, Two-Sit? They don't need you to find and introduce fighters to them. They don't. They can find their own fighters so they don't have to pay you fees. The structure works for 17-year-olds. I took a lot of thinking and I was like, who does this structure work for? Do you realize the only person that it works for unified boxing organizations, the only people that it works for are 17-year-olds? 17-year-olds that are still being managed by their fathers? No, seriously. The only people that works for is people that want to turn pro at 17 years old, sign with Zufta Boxing, get a 6-year contract, so they figure that they're going to fight with Zufta Boxing between the time that they're 17 years old and they're 23 years old. During that time, they get paid no less than $200 a round. No less than $200 a round. So if you're fighting, you're going to get, 4 rounds, you're going to get $800 no matter what. Right? So no matter what you do, even if your ass is over here.
And then it was about to be.
Right? If you're 23 years old, if you're 17 years old, you can do a 6-year contract because you're going to wind up being 23. And you're going to get, you're not going to get mandatory fights. It's easy for you to sit on, but that's the only people that it makes sense for. TKO is like a boxing league, like a junior boxing league. But a professional league where these guys get to fight a lot and get to get seen. And then afterwards, they get to maybe pop out the top of it and then get a deal with one of the big promoters, that whatever big promoter is that is use. Right? So could the PBC start their own thing? Like anybody with enough money and enough capital could start one. Absolutely. Anybody with enough, from what I can see, that passes the threshold of being a unified boxing organization can qualify. And I guarantee you this, if that was available to Al Heyman originally, Al Heyman would have tried to qualify as a unified boxing organization. I don't see that there's any reason why the PBC couldn't qualify as a unified boxing organization, but I don't know if that's what's going to really bring in big fights. I do know, though, that there's not going to be any network deals for anybody that's not fucking around because this shit looks very political. I ain't lying, bro. And I told you. But they're also changing the rules for existing sanctioning bodies. That's what people not realize, and the club level promoters will become absolute. Yeah, they are. There's only one belt. Yep. When they got rid of one, they're saying one belt per weight class. That means you can't have 15 other belts on the line. I don't even know if that means you can have a USBA and all of that. That shit is in the United States. You know what I mean? So let me tell you too, Sin, some professional boxers get paid zero at the beginning of their career for a fight and actually have to pay their opponents out of their own pockets. Well, there you go. So that's what I'm saying. So that's going to eliminate a lot of you thieves at the beginning of people's careers. They can capitalize off of that. And that seems to me to be more of a federal law enforcement type of thing. Basically, like I talked to you guys before about these vultures that were flying over my house. And I was like, man, how am I going to get over these vultures? How am I going to get rid of the vultures? And I started thinking about all the different things that I needed to do to get rid of these vultures to keep them from like circling me. Well, guess what happened? The federal government or the government intervened. I didn't yet, not with my direct request, but they flew helicopters over the top of my house. Because just like I have a lot of vultures that fly over my house and around me, I also have a lot of helicopters that fly over me. So pretty much once a day, 4 or 5 times a week, no least, a bunch of helicopters fly over my house or fly in the general area. Every day there's always like little private jets and stuff that fly over. So I realized it's like, dang, man, these buzzards would be here every day until I saw that damn helicopter start passing by. Once those helicopters start passing by, those vultures didn't come by anymore. No, I'm saying that this is the feds. I'm going one step behind that. I'm saying that I believe this is semi-federal operation. Because you got to understand, bro, the United States is kind of fascist, bro. The United States is a tad bit fascist. So you have a combination of the government and corporations. They work hand in hand. The government and large corporations work hand in hand. So when you start seeing a lot of federal law enforcement, they can work with big business to try to find a way so that you can get that criminal element handled. That's why they legalized weed. That's why they got rid of prohibition. You know what I mean? So they're going to do the same thing with this massive amount of theft that you guys are perpetrating. Because you're perpetrating a massive amount of theft, as I've already detailed. And you see with all the gambling and just all the gambling, let me tell you something, bro. If you guys keep stealing like this from gambling matches, they're not going to get rid of gambling. They're going to get rid of you. They're going to make sure that they tighten up the sport to the point where you can't fix fights. Let's get to the bottom. Let's get to the nuts and bolts of it. You got Aiden Ross out here telling people to change multi-million-dollar bets because he knows that Terrence Crawford, and he heard from upper level people that Terrence Crawford is going to win the fight. You're doing that shit live on air, fucking with people's gambling, bro. Come on, man. They think you're fixing fights because you are fixing fights. That is of secondary. Let me tell you something. No, that's what's in it for the business. What's in it? Because look, bro, it is a government project along with the corporations. So both of them have to have something in it for them. So the government wants to get rid of the crime. The companies want to make the money. So the money, that's why they always privatize shit. They privatize it to big industry so that the big industry gets the money in exchange for solving the problem. That's how all these works. Public policy problems being handled by corporations. That's what fascism is. Isn't it? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that what fascism is? Don't you have a public policy problem? Don't you have a public policy problem like illegality? And you have a profit, a private profit that can come from solving it. Come on, man. You see this. So look, bro, you can get used to this. You bums are out. And I told y'all don't be threatening niggas because you should always, I'm telling you, I told you though. And once I saw Ilya and Omar, oh, it's over. It's over. I'm telling you, it's over. You guys can write home. It's over. You guys played around to the point You guys played around to the point where it's over for you fucking bums. All you niggas running around trying to get fighters signed, trying to get $15,000 for getting a fighter on a card in this city or getting a fighter on that card. All your little matchmaking money, all that matchmaking money that you dudes was getting, all that shit is going by the wayside, bro. When these guys implement this system, it's over for you dudes. Over. And the feds is on your ass like you wouldn't believe to boot. So basically, you're going through a big reorganization, and I support it. And I support it. It took me a little bit of time to see the entire, what did Andre Ward say to me? Fanon, you don't see the play. Oh, I didn't see that play. But Andre, do you see this play? Do you see this play? Because the only big boxing, no, it's industry too. Far right authority, prioritizing the nation or race over the individual. Yeah, you get it. You see this play? I think I see this play. Man. He who laughs last, laughs best. He who laughs last, laughs best. Yeah, they do. But you're going to get your Netflix and you're going to get your Paramount. So if you're big enough a fighter, they can put you on free Netflix for a lot of money. Yeah, they can. That's why they have to tear down Gervonta. Because Gervonta was about to be on Netflix. Yes, they couldn't let Gervonta get in front of 33 million people. So they had to go double, triple time on Gervonta. That is my personal belief. You don't want Gervonta's name up in that situation. So y'all got desperate. Y'all did what you, but it's gonna come back to bite you bums. It's gonna come back to bite you bums. Because you guys got so much money from gambling. You got so much money from gambling, bro. Fixing, fighting, gambling, you got rich. Just like the prohibition people. You remember when the prohibition people got all rich, the mobsters got all rich, and they just got all kind of out of hand because they had enough money. Now, they did get their kids taken care of. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to the mobsters. But at a certain point in time, mobsters get too big for their britches. You know what I mean? You niggas is flexing way too big. You know what I mean? You little monkey-ass Negroes, and I don't mean that in any racial sense. I mean like niggas sitting on a shoulder with your little box going clickety-clickety-click. Y'all running around here in jets. You niggas is running around here, schemed your way into private jets. Schemed your nah, dog. We shutting all this scheming down, bro. We not going to have a criminal. We not letting this criminal underworld that has gotten so rich that you guys don't even know how to hide anymore. We're swimming you off, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm not answering that question, bro, because you're not going to distract me, bro. I'm going to keep my ass. I'm going to keep on y'all, bro. I'm going to keep on y'all asses. You guys have stolen and elevated your criminality to the level that they have decided that they're going to sit your overshining asses on the ground. Yes, they did. Because you're out here fixing fights so blatantly. I told you when you guys came over, you brought all those people from the UK into the United States and fixed that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight. We were going to come to get you. I told you there was going to be shit popping off because that shit was about gambling. You guys fixed that fight. That dude was knocked out on the ground. Jack Reese decides to let him up in the first fight. And then the dude comes in with loaded gloves. I mean, all kind of shit was fucked up in that second fight. I told you then that you guys were fucking around too much. Then you see Anthony Joshua come in the ring looking like he's doped up. You see what happened to Errol, and bro, you guys signaled so hard that the fix was in with Errol. It was ridiculous. You got, I know it's going to be a knockout. We know it's going to be because you guys were telling each other basically by codes that you already know the outcome of the fight. And you did it on the internet, you dumbasses. Bro, you guys are stealing royalties money. Let me tell you whose money you're stealing. You're stealing royalties money. I don't know how direct. This is probably the most direct I've ever been. You guys are stealing money from royalty. Royal, Royalty. That is who you're stealing the money from. That is who you're stealing from when you're gambling. That's who you're stealing from out of your hedge funds. You are stealing from royalty. Okay? That's why you needed a royal guy in Prince Mohammed bin Salman to be your cover. Because you only people with that amount of money are royalty. He's not the only people with that amount of money. And if you think that these guys like Elon Musk have more money than royalty, you're nuts. No, they don't. They have fiat currency and a bunch of publicity that is meant to distract you from the money that the royalty actually has. The kings and queens of Europe, the kings and queens of Africa, the kings and queens, the royalty, the Asian royalty. You are stealing from royalty is who you're stealing from. And when you start stealing from royalty, you get a lot of political pressure from the top down. Because do you know what the only reason that you have any of your governments is because certain responsibilities were ceded by the royals of that community. So you start stealing from the royals in your gambling. You start stealing from the royalties through your hedge funds. Eventually, the big pressure is going to come on you from business and from government. Believe it. Because they own more than anybody else owns. And I've been hinting at this with you for a very long time as to why I kept telling you, you're playing around with the wrong people's money. Just because you shake hands or you're around the Queen of England doesn't mean you got the right to steal her money. Just because you are around French royalty and you see their beautiful tuxedos and it looks like you drive the same car that they drive doesn't mean that you are like they are, Floyd. That's whose money you're playing with, bro. And you know what you do to them? You justify it by calling them criminals and saying, oh, they're criminals. That's where they get their money. Oh, this is money. Oh, this is laundering. Oh, yeah, it's a pimp game. You don't get that type of money pimping. You don't get that type of money selling drugs, no matter how much drugs you try to sell. You don't put this type of eye on you. The only people that have that are royalty. When you're not talking about the 1% here, you're talking about the 0.000000001%. That's whose money you're stealing. Yes, you are. They stay incognito. They work through other people. And then you got close and you started stealing their money like there was no tomorrow. And now you're fucked. And I told you, you're fucked. You're fucking around with the wrong people. You can't touch them with a 10-foot pole. Your presidents, don't bother them. Trust you me, who the Queen of England doesn't give a shit about. Donald Trump. Doesn't care. Couldn't touch him. He could not put a finger on that woman, or I'm sorry, the King of England. And that's just an example of one of them. The King of England, you can't touch that man with a 10-foot pole. No way. The only time that a royal gets disciplined is by a royal court, overseen by the royal family. But you guys get next to royalty, get on their jets. Who else has money for their own private jets? Who else has their own security that amount to armies? Huh? You guys just think that people don't understand? Are you blind? Well, let me take the covers off your eyes. You have been stealing money from the royal family of Greece. Yes, you have. You've been stealing money from the royal family of Greece, specifically, because you probably don't even know they exist, or you think people don't even know they exist. They exist. The ex-husband, or the father, should I say, I'm sorry, the father of the King of England is the son of the Prince of Greece. Thank you very much. They have a royal family. You wanted to ask, well, how could they have so much money if their country's so poor? That's because the democracy, and that is poor, not the royal family. I have done my research. You, in my personal opinion, got caught stealing from not a sovereign country, a sovereign person. You are stealing from a sovereign person. You know, you have a sovereign nation. A king is a sovereign person in and of himself. So if you get your hand on that king's money, you are stealing from a king. And that is an international crime beyond belief. And they will correct it by shutting down your industry. And I told you way back then, you're stealing from the wrong people. You think it's the Saudi royal prince that's giving this money. No, it is not. But it is a royal. Hold on one second. Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm outside the house. It's 1005, right?
Yes. Can you ring the doorbell?
Yes.
Yes, my mother should answer the phone. If she doesn't, I'll come down again. But just keep ringing. We're here. Thank you. Bye. Yeah. So let me complete that picture for you that I've been talking to you about for a while. You're stealing money. You're not getting the money from Turkey Al-Sheikh, because Turkey Al-Sheikh and the Public Investment Fund said that they're not investing their money in anything that's not dealing with Saudi Arabia. So you have to understand where all this money coming from. There is more than one prince in this world. There's more than one king in this world. And they have more money than any of these billionaires that you're talking about. They have way more money. Way more. They have unlimited funds. That's why you call them a king. And they have people in the United States. They have money in the United States. And that's who you're taking the money from. Okay? That's whose money it is. And it comes in the form of a trust. That's why they're kings and queens, because they have a trust. They don't have to worry about money. They don't have to worry about land. They don't have to worry about any of that. It's all in a trust. And they want to invest their money in private businesses. So they invest their money in private businesses. Many of the biggest stockholders in these corporations are kings and queens who own massive amounts of money, massive amounts of land. And you're stealing from these people. And you're stealing from them. Instead of just being honest and trying to earn money in an honest way, you guys want to pass it through in gambling. You want to pass it through all over the place with fake buys on Spotify. That's you. You guys got access to hedge funds and didn't do anything but just waste the money. Waste the money. You see what happened with that partner of Floyd Mayweather Jr., the one that Business Insider said got the Teamsters to get access to $20 million in a hedge fund, and $19 million of it disappears? Come on, man. Y'all are stealing from Greek royalty. Yes, you are. You are. I can tell by who's solving the problem and why the problem is being solved out of Chicago. Come on, man. Y'all hit a lick, bro. But goddamn, you know what? You can't hit a lick on the king. You can't. You can't hit a lick on the king. You can't. And guess what? You want this. Guess how bad you niggas are. You guys are so cocky that you come around and insist this man calls Turkey al-Sheikh your excellency. You demanded that Turkey al-Sheikh, a peon, be called your excellency, as if he's the king. Mohammed bin Salam. You guys fucked around and you found out. There's a reason y'all don't say my name. Yes? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay, is it what else? Just call me on my phone, Annie. Okay. Go back. Sorry about that. So I say, hey, look, bro. So somebody asked me yesterday, do I support Dana White and TKO? I don't think it's a matter of supporting Dana White and TKO. I absolutely support and believe that there needs to be a major change to the sport of boxing as it relates to the promoters, the managers, and the go-betweens, because I don't believe in the integrity of boxing anymore. One thing that I have to tell you is I don't think boxing as a sport has any integrity. The commentators on boxing have no integrity. The media has no integrity. These cheating ass fighters on their steroids that know they're cheating and everybody else knows they're cheating, but yet you guys don't want to say you know that they're cheating, even though they're cheating right in your face. You all have no integrity. And the fact of the matter is, when the integrity of the sport is gone, you need to solve that problem and you need to get your integrity together. Shakur Stevenson said he learned integrity from Terrence Crawford. The best thing that Terrence Crawford learned was, nigga, don't fuck with me. That's the integrity that taught him. Integrity used to mean something. Now integrity gets you ridiculed. Well, I don't think that you can ever. There was a saying by a very powerful man that said, if you are hated at such a, you are that the youth that followed, I don't even want to say it, man. This is fucked up, but I'll say it. Look, man, having certain people ridicule is a badge of honor. And it is some of the highest praise that you could possibly get. When a true scoundrel ridicules you, it is the highest form of compliment that you can have, because they have no integrity. But boxing has no integrity. I'm telling you, ridicule from certain people is the highest form of honor. It's the highest honor you can get. To know that certain people do not like me means that I'm doing something right. However, dog, I want to talk for real, bro. Because you niggas ain't got me surrounded no more, bro. You don't. You guys are done. That TKO bill is going to pass. Yes, it is. When Ilhan Omar said what she said, that it's not perfect and she needs to see some changes, and they came back with those changes, dog, all they're going to do is squeeze the knot tighter as it goes through the process. That's it. They doubled the money for fighters. They doubled the protections and said, hey, man, we got to go. But I'm going to tell you, that's not the reason that they're going to pass it. It's not going to be because Ari Emanuel is going to make a lot of money. Shout out to Ari Emanuel. No joke, bro. Shout out to Ari Emanuel. Shout out to my boy. You know what it is. Shout out to my boy, who I trust very much. And let me also tell you something. I have inside sources. Yes, I do. I have inside people in this. You better believe it. And I trust them very much. I trust them to solve a problem. I trust them to solve a problem. And I have laid out this problem over the course of the last 5 years to my own personal detriment. I have been attacked. I've been maligned. I've been lied on. I've been slandered. I've been libeled. I've been shadow banned. I've had all of the shit that you niggas could pull out on me. You dudes pulled out on me over the last 5 years. All of you guys, and I to a number, are involved in the same group of bullshit that I'm describing. You want to be managers of fighters. You want to be matchmakers. You want to say what good fights are good fights and what bad fights, what fights are not good fights. You want to put pressure on sanctioning bodies. You want to put pressure on fighters. You want to start shit outside the ring. You want to put cases on people. You want to put lawsuits on people. You want to set people up for sexual assaults. You want to set people up for all kind of fucking bullshit. Why? Because you guys are a bunch of fucking criminals that thought y'all hit a lick. But nigga, you licked a razor blade. And it only took a long time for you to realize your tongue got cut in half. Y'all been doing it for years. So anything that gets rid of you all, I support. I support. You know why? Because I believe that there's a management consulting firm that is on this job. Because this looks like a plan that was put together that they are going to execute by using the federal government and major corporations to stop what you were trying to pull off, which was for you to fund a lot of very criminal activities with our money, specifically the money of the Greek royal family. And let me repeat that. Specifically the money from the Greek royal family. And I'm going to rewind it. The money from the Greek royal family. Who would have enough money to cover this? A king. Who has kings? The Greek royal family. Yep. Those are your unlimited funds, not Saudi Arabia. And it is not a public investment fund. It is the Greek royal family's trust fund. It is the fund used to support the Greek royal family that you guys have attached and monitored. Yes, you have. That's why so many Greek bankers went to jail, and you can't get the money out of there anymore. So you're stealing it from the trust fund of the royal family by putting a bunch of shit on royal family members and using their portions of the money to fund your activities. Problem solved. Problem solved. Mystery solved. Mystery concluded. From pillar to pipe, I got y'all, without a doubt. I know who the Greek royal is. Bloodline beyond Alexander the Great. It's somebody who has a bloodline connected to Alexander the Great. That is the Greek royal family. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Greek. Alexander the Great. That's the bloodline that you're stealing the money from. They put him in austerity around 2008 to around 2000. When was it? 2008 to 2012. They come out of austerity after they arrest a lot of bankers. You guys still have oversight over their economy, and the people that you really want to stop are the people who are in the Greek royal family who have their own independent wealth. Who you try to kill on a regular basis, let's not forget that. Who you also would just assume have dead so the little kids can have the trust. And when the little kids have the trust, you get to spend all the money and wait till they get old enough until you can try to kill them too. Because that's what you try to do to Greek royal families. That's what you try to do to the Saudi royal family. That's what you try to do to the royal families, period. You try to make sure that the oldest ones can never actually access the money because you keep getting rid of them. Let me tell you who else is a line of family that happens to. The Kennedys. Have you ever noticed how crazy it is that the Kennedys have a curse? That no matter what the Kennedy sons do, they always wind up getting killed, or they wind up having some terrible shit happening to them when they're growing up. You know why that is? It's because they're Irish, and it is because they are of the Irish royal lineage, and they don't want a king of Ireland. So what do? They don't want a king of Scotland. They don't want a king of Ireland. So the king of England and the businesses, they conspire against that. So we're talking about royalty here. People that walk by you every day without crowns and things on them that are royalty and well beyond any jurisdiction that you have. The U.S. government has no jurisdiction over them. The U.S. government has no jurisdiction over them. And by the way, they have their own military when they walk around. So I am done with you niggas. I know what you did. You found a royal. You set the fucking royal up. You got paid to set him up. They keep spending his money like it's no fucking tomorrow because they never planned for him ever to get it because he was never supposed to live long enough to get to the money. Now, does that make sense to anybody? Because if it doesn't make sense to you, I really don't care. All I know is that that's the truth that I operate under, and I know this full well. You niggas are all going to jail because I said you were going to jail. I told you were going to jail. I told you they were going to be these RICOs. I told you. I didn't ask. I told you. Bank of International Settlement definitely has its own military above the government's. I'm just telling you, that's a lick that you niggas should have never hit. I'm just telling you, that's a lick y'all definitely should not have tried to hit. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. That's a lick you shouldn't have hit. It's a lick you shouldn't have hit. There's a reason you can't touch people with a 10-foot pole. That's the reason why I would tell you big bank, tank, little bank. Dog, I can have no cash in my hands whatsoever, nigga. I'll still play big bank, tank, little bank. Over you bums? For sure. No, seriously, nobody talks about that. You have military, you have government, and you have royal families. Royal families are real things. That's why they keep talking about Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and he's the king of Saudi Arabia. There's no term limits. There's all the wealth of your nation at your disposal. Everybody has to do what the fuck you tell them to do because you're the fucking king. They have massive amounts of money in trust funds, which go into hedge funds. They like to gamble. Boxing is a royal sport. Yes, it is. The only reason it was legal and it was not punished in Great Britain is because the king backed it. Come on, we want to act like there's no royals and you're not stealing from kings and queens? Yes, you are. You're stealing from kings and queens, which means you're ultimately stealing from the king. If you steal from the prince, you're stealing from the king because the prince don't own shit, the king does. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all just want to come by the channel with little smart ass names like Kang. We all kings. We all kings. When we were, y'all ain't all kings. No, you not. no, you not. no, you not. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you got to be born one, brother. You got to be born. You can't be made. You can't catch up, Floyd. You can't catch up. And see, let me tell you what got y'all niggas in trouble. Y'all trying to catch up with a king. You trying to live like a king. Nigga, you can't live like no king unless you a king. What happens when somebody try to outshine the king? Dog, they get torn down. You know why? Because it ain't their money. Let's get it right. It ain't their money. It ain't their money. That's easy to see. It's not their money. You know why it's not their money? Because their money is only backed by the land. Who oversees the land? The king oversees the land. Yeah, you are not of the status of a king, brother. You just like to say that shit because it sounds good. You fucked around with a European king. I'll bet $1,000 to a donut. I will bet $1,000 to a donut. 1,000 of my dollars to a donut. Y'all are stealing from the royal family of Greece. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. And I'm not talking about that. I don't want to get on to Floyd Mayweather. I don't want to get into Floyd Mayweather right now. I want to play Dr. I want to see, you know what I want to do? I want to play Dr. Uncomfortable Truth. I want to share with you an uncomfortable truth that you can't fuck with the church. Do you know who names kings? Put a 1 in the chat if you know who names the king. Seriously. Please put a 1 in the chat if you know who names the king. Who names kings? Where does the king get his authority from? He gets his authority from the same place the Pope gets his authority from. He gets his authority from God. That's why kings you can't even calculate a king's wealth. Not the people. The king gets his power from God. That's why people have to listen to the king. Because the king is like the military arm of the priest. It is. The king is like the military arm of the priest. It gets it from God. So when you steal from a king, you are stealing directly from God. Yes, you are. When you steal from the king, you're stealing from God. When you're gambling against a king and you cheat a king, you cheated God. The only reason you have any money is because of God in the land, which is why your money is backed by things that come out of the land. Yes, it is. You have to back your money by things that come out of the land that are valued by the king. If the king values gold, then gold is of value. If the king values silver, then silver is of value. If the king wants a holiday, then that day gets set aside. Yes. So you guys are not only here influencing people and behaving as if you are kings when you're not, and using and utilizing money of the king, of which you are not party. It's not surprising at all to me that oceans are parted and miraculously the UFC takes over boxing and all of you little minute men all go to garbage. Now, somebody tell me that Fanon is crazy. I want to hear you tell me it. I want you to today, after I said what I said, I want you to call me crazy. Oh, let me tell you why I'm talking about a promoter. The Muhammad Ali Act. I'm sorry, Heather. Let me tell you about this. These boxing guys are fucked. It's over with. It's a death knell. All of these promotional companies in the United States, all these promotional companies just got gutted. And TKO Boxing and Unified Boxing Organizations are going to be the new order in boxing. In order for you to participate in boxing, you're going to have a whole shitload of money to get into the sport of boxing. And the reason that this is happening is because they're going to get rid of all the petty criminals. And the reason that they're getting rid of all the petty criminals is because of who the petty criminals were stealing from. The petty criminals are getting caught, and it's getting cleaned up because they're stealing from a king. Let me repeat. They are stealing from a KING. The money is being stolen from a king. The king has a trust fund. Administrators of the trust fund are pumping money from his trust fund into hedge funds. Once it's in the hedge funds, they are using the money in the hedge funds to fund their illegal activities. And they're taking the money straight from the hedge funds. And they are losing this money in boxing. Watch this. Claiming that they're doing it at the behest of the king. Because the king said that he would invest in boxing. And because he said he would invest in boxing, they used that as an excuse to steal massive amounts of money from his trust fund, pump them into hedge funds, lose a ton of money in boxing events, and then use that very same money to invest and compete against him. That's what I'm saying. That's the cycle of the money. The money is coming from the Greek, not just the Greek royal family, but specifically from the king of Greece. Specifically him. That's, basically, Heather, you know what they did? This is my opinion. My opinion. All they did was substitute Mohammed bin Salman for the king of Greece. That's all they did. They got the money from the king of Greece, but they claim the money is coming from Saudi Arabia because they're getting the money from a royal, but the royal has so much money that royal was supposed to not know that money was getting spent. Mohammed bin Salman, just think for a second. Mohammed bin Salman, if he's the king of Saudi Arabia, has so much money, he's not going to know about $1 billion here, $1 billion there, $5 billion here, $10 billion here. Bro, shut up, devil face. I'm not asking you. The king of Greece is the king of the Germanic tribes, you fucking idiot. I didn't say, yes, they do have a king. You just don't recognize them, you fucking idiot. Great Britain has a prime minister, stupid. It doesn't mean that there's not a king of England, is there? Isn't there a prime minister? Isn't there a prime minister in Great Britain? Yes, there is. There is a royal family. In every one of those European houses, there's a royal family. Once you had Reformation and you started changing names of countries and all of that, it doesn't mean that family is not still royal. It's of the entire Germanic tribe. Thank you very much. Anyway, not wanting to talk to ignorant people, let me get back onto the subject matter at hand. There's a king and queen of Monaco. Yes, there is. There's plenty of European royalty. There's plenty of African royalty. The only place where we act like there's not royalty is in the United States in the Western Hemisphere, and that's because because of European royalty took over the Eastern Hemisphere, Western Hemisphere. But it was Queen Isabella of Spain that had Portugal and Spain come here. Sorry, Portugal and the United States, they were claimed by kings and queens. That's why they call it the Victorian, Napoleonic law. Napoleon was an emperor. An emperor is beyond a king. That's royalty, stupid. But anyway, let's get back to the fact that y'all got caught. I don't need for you to believe in royalty, stupid. I don't believe in royalty. Royalty doesn't exist. Who would have all this money? King would. A king would. Who would have all this money to dump in boxing and not care anything about losing the money? A king. A king. A king. That's the answer. Anybody watch this shit. Legally speaking, and I mean business, legal, and otherwise, who would dump $10-20 billion into boxing and not care about getting any of it back? It's not going to be a businessman, because businessmen need profit. It's not going to be a government, because government don't have that type of money. The only people that would do it, the only person that makes sense to dump all this money is a king, which is why you guys say it's Mohammed bin Salam, because that's the only way to justify it. You're just playing a shell game as to what king it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. So from once I establish that it is a king that is paying the money and not a business, right? It's not a business because it doesn't make business sense. It's not. It's not a private. It has to be a private person. But what private person has that type of money? It's not a businessman, because a businessman, none of his shit is not liquid like that. Only people with money like that to burn like that is a royal. That's it. They got the money when they're born. They're going to have the money till they die. They can spend money, waste money. It doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want because there's always more money for somebody that is royal. So let's start off this case by knowing that the person that we're looking for is a king. Why isn't it a queen? Because more than likely it's not a woman, because they're not going to invest in boxing. Okay? Do you know most of your philanthropists are really just giving out money for kings and queens? Yes, they are. Because they're what you call the dukes and the duchesses. They're the court that surrounds royalty. You know what it is. Y'all niggas are in the court. Yes, you are. You niggas are in the court. You might be court gestures, but you're in the court. You guys are talking about behind the scenes. That's where you guys are. That's the information you had. That's the lick you were hitting. You may not have known. Now, let me tell you something. You might not have known where specifically this ill-gotten money was coming from. You may not have known that. All you have to know that it was ill-gotten. They could have told you, oh, this is where I'm getting it from. This is where I'm getting it from. Exactly. King Leopold of Belgium. King Leopold. Yeah, y'all never heard of a king before? You know, kings, this looks like a king's ring, by the way. I wear a little king ring right here. Fanon letting y'all know they'll show a face that's supposedly putting up all the money, but somebody much higher behind the scenes you never heard of, seen, really running the show. Yep. How y'all feeling today, though? When y'all, hey, no, seriously, bro. I want to know if anybody feel like threatening me. Hey, seriously, man, let's have a sober moment, bro. Can somebody, I appreciate y'all, man, because you know I'm not liquid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not liquid, bro. You know, I got all kind of constraints on my money. I got all kind of constraints on my opportunities. You know what I mean? I got a lot of dudes doing hit pieces on me, man. You know what I mean? You got people acting like I'm a celebrity, bro. I'm a public figure and shit. You know what I mean? People trying to tell me I'm a journalist, insisting that I'm a journalist. Hey, dog, how y'all feel right now? Seriously, man, y'all ran at least 5 campaigns on me, dog. Said my name was Fanan Hancock, and I deserve to die. Spencer Fearon, bro, I ain't forget about you, dog, and your little Daniel Kinahan shit. I told you right now, nigga, I don't give a fuck about Daniel Kinahan. I told you, bro. I told you I don't care. I told you I don't care about Turkey. I told you I don't care about Mohammed bin Salman. I don't care. Let me tell you, bro. I for real want to know what you niggas are going to do. Bill Haney. How's that lick feeling, Bill Haney? Hey, Bill Haney. How's it feeling right now, bro? You getting a clue yet, dog? I told you, nigga. I said if I go to your hometown, you will leave the city when I show up. That's what I told your bitch ass. That's what I told you. Shut up. Zeus. Look. That's what I told. I'm talking real school here, bro. I got about 30. I got about 30 minutes left, bro. Y'all used to talk a lot of shit about me, bro. A Lincoln lawyer, I don't know. What is a Lincoln lawyer? A Lincoln lawyer is a poor lawyer that can't work for a big firm that does his job by himself. That's what it is, bro. But let me tell you what it is too. It's a nigga that knows exactly what I am, bro. What you gonna do, bro? For real. I want you niggas to continue to threaten my life. Hey, bro, for real. I want you guys to threaten my life again. Hey, remember when y'all used to threaten my life and used to talk about what you was going to do to me, and I used to walk like straight out in the streets, bro, and be like, bro, when are you going to do this to me? And you niggas said anybody can be touched? All of that shit you niggas used to talk about, you little petty ass fucking gangsters. You little pissant niggas. You little mafia niggas. You little niggas. You little itty bitty ass, turtle ass back niggas. Talking about what you were going to say to my mama. What you going to do now, dog? You think it's a coincidence that they stuck that gun in your face, Terrence? Nah, for real. Somebody, I want you guys to know, bro, I'm crazy. That's what y'all always say about me whenever I say something. Y'all real interested in everybody thinking I'm crazy. You real interested in everybody in getting me out of boxing. Right? How y'all feeling today, bro? You niggas is all of a sudden up in arms about the TKO Act because you guys are about to be broke. That's why you don't like it. You don't like the Muhammad Ali Revival Act because it is going to get rid of the criminality and the waste and the fraud in boxing, which means that you're not going to be able to hit that lick anymore. You guys aren't going to be able to pay Shakur Stevenson $9 million and Teofimo Lopez $9 million for a fight that will not generate $2. Let me repeat. You're not going to be able to offer Shakur Stevenson $9 million and Teofimo Lopez $9 million for a fight that only generates $2. You're not going to be able to hit a lick like Terrence Crawford and get paid $50 million on a fight that generates $500,000. All of a sudden, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. And that's the reality that's going to hit you guys upside the head. And you're not going to be able to re-up and churn that money. No, you're not going to be able to do it. You know why? Because the person whose money it is turned off the faucet. turned off the faucet on you. Dog, when I went to LA, you niggas were nowhere around. And PBC came to see me. People that I know you niggas knew I was there. Why weren't you in the city when I came? Anatolian Shepherd would mix with Belgian Malinois. Nah, seriously, I want you guys to understand this, bro. This is connected. The supporters for me are going to be real supporters. And I support the people that support me. You better believe I support the people that support me. I've helped a lot of people out in boxing. But you crooks, I'm siding with Dana White. I'm telling you right now, you know why I'm siding with Dana White? I'm siding with Dana White because Dana White ain't never fucked me. And Dana White is just trying to implement what Al Heyman wanted to implement. This is Al Heyman. This is what Al Heyman wanted to have happen. Since this is what Al Heyman wanted to have happen, guess what? I'm going to be okay with it. I'm going to ride with it, dog. I'm going to ride with it. And I don't care about Sean Vitale. And Sean Vitale, you can pitch a bitch for the next 10 years. Where were y'all when we were doing videos about how y'all fixed the fight with Deontay Wilder? Trying to bet me money on Deontay Wilder. All you niggas, by the way, bro, every single solitary fight, I got friends of mine just wanting to have gentleman bets with me. Bro, look, bro, I'm a big nigga. I'm the biggest nigga you will ever meet in your life, bro. Let me tell you something for real. I am the biggest nigga you will ever meet in your life, bro. And y'all made a very, very bad mistake fucking with me. Yes, you did. I appreciate y'all fucking with me because it made me push to the point where I figured out exactly what's going on. And I'm thankful for the fact that I know what's going on. But that doesn't mean that you people that hit these licks, caused all this misery in people's lives, fucked everybody over. That doesn't mean you're not going to have to deal with this, bro. And this, yes, sir. What is the, how much is it? Okay, cool. I'll just come give you my card in a second. Just give me a second. I'll get off and come give you my card. Okay, thank you. Bye. Hey, y'all, look. I'm telling y'all. That's your ass, bro. That's your ass. And I'm going to get out of here because I got to handle something. But no joke, bro. That's your asses, bro. And I'm talking to my family. I'm talking to every friend of mine. I'm talking to every person that I've done business with. I'm talking about everybody that I do business with moving forward, bro. I can read tea leaves, bro. I'm very good at it. Very good at reading tea leaves. And my guy is who my guy is, and I know my guy is who he is. And y'all been taking advantage of that, and y'all been getting over on that, but you're not getting over on that no more, never again. Sorry, bro. It's mine, it ain't yours. Anyway, with that, I'm out. Deuces.